Hello everyone, welcome back to Nebo TV. My name is Osemwegie. I'm broadcasting live from Toronto, Canada. And today we have an elderly statesman with me here in the studio, a renowned Benin historian all the way from the ancient city of Benin. Hello, sir, can you hear me?
I'm hearing.
Okay. Thank you for joining us from Benin today, sir.
Thank you so much.
For those who are watching right now, I have with me in the studio my honorable high priest, Osemwegie Ebohon. So before we start the program, sir, introduce yourself a little bit to the audience. Go ahead, sir.
My names are Osemwegie Ebohon, a native doctor and the high priest of African traditional religion. I own the famous Ebohon Cultural Center, Benin City, Nigeria, West Africa, world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Before we start the program, sir, you know that lately we have this news about the return of Benin artifacts from some European countries. So, what is your take about this ongoing return of Benin artifacts, given that years ago you predicted that these artifacts will be returned back to Benin?
Yes, thank you so much. For my introductory speech, I want to say that it is annoying to call those works artifacts. They are Benin treasures. Why do I call them Benin treasures? They are our libraries, they are our history, they are our culture, they are everything that is traditional and cultural. And they are our divine and kingship materials. For instance, some of the things that they stole away that had put stigma on Britain till tomorrow is one, Oba's regalias, Oba's crowns, although one of them and the regalia were brought back during the reign of Osemwegie II. And you all will remember vividly the day they handed them over to him. He put the regalia on one side and used his two hands to hold the crown, looked at it with joy and ecstasy. Then he placed it on his head majestically and burst into a song. Afieni obeo, any day, any day. Afieni obeo, any day, any day. Then he also sang, I think, Sagile Mayo, Sagile Maye, Emaye, Sagile Maye, Obi Beni, Sagile Maye, Emaye, Sagile Maye, Emayo, Emaye, Umuya Maye. That means the stolen works from Benin Kingdom are not the same as those stolen from other parts of the world. Then the market women that were around in the palace and environs, that over 1,000 of them, chorused and echoed the songs, and Osemwegie II moved about 7 steps on choreographed dance, but buried in the womb of Benin ritual and ceremonial dances. Thank you very much.
You know, the same song was sung recently in Oba Palace during one event in the palace. This Sagale Mayo, Mayo, Sagale Mayo, the Oba of Benin, Oba Ewari Ogirigan II. It was like 2 weeks ago. They sang exactly the same song in the palace. So it's this same song that was sung when they returned some Benin artifacts during the reign of Oba Akezua II. So is it a tradition that whenever the treasure of Benin is returned back to the kingdom, this song will be sung?
When we talk of tradition, somebody starts it. Oba Akinzwa II is one of a kind in Benin royalty. So the grandson also used the same songs to receive some of the works into the palace.
Mm, mm, okay. Yes, sir. You predicted years ago that Benin artifacts would be returned back to Benin. So right now that some European countries are planning to return some of the artifacts back to Benin, what will you say about this ongoing success about the return of Benin artifacts?
Yes, thank you very much. Owe Noah Temata Biko Enukoyayo. The person that will tell the truth in a meeting of the community will not get close to where there. Then secondly, when a poor man among them talks, they will say, no, leave that till tomorrow, leave that till tomorrow, until a rich man says it tomorrow, and they will say, oh, you are talking sense and so on and so on. What I'm trying to imply is, one, uh, during Oba Akinzwa II's reign, I did a lot of things which are on record. Then two, when Oba Ediawa came, I also did. And when our revered monarch, Egwai II came, the same thing, because 7 months to his ascension, I gave a lecture at the Benin Forum of Patrons, the legacies of Oba Egwai II, because I knew Egwai was coming back to Benin. So what I will say about it is that all the kings, right from Oborane himself who died or who joined his ancestors, and his son Agwabasiniemi took over, ascending the throne as with Oba Eweka II title. Immediately he came to power, or he came to the throne. The palace that was burnt down and destroyed, he started repairing them. And then was always asking the presidents, when are you bringing the things you people carried away from here? We are back now, we are repairing the palace. They were not answering properly. Then he established an art school in the palace. I think Chiefs Ine and Ihama were, I call them visiting lecturers, because the Oba himself, the vice chancellor and the chief lecturer, he was a very good carver in ivory, wood. There was no ebony that time, and he was supervising the bronze casters. That's Oba Eweka II. So eventually, when he left, his son, Akinzwa II, was always pressuring the white people, bring this thing back. But that thing, as I said in Ovoran and Ogbai Sifin, I said it has put a lasting stain on Britain, because the theft they did in Benin, we always hunt them and prevent them from sleeping. And it is so, because those works are any artwork created by man has 3 souls, 2 souls and 1 heart. The heart is the energy given it by God, and the 2 souls are the one given it by the creator, that's the artist, and then the buyer, the collector. So if you look at an artwork, you will see a part of the maker's resemblance on it. And over the years, it's like a child adopted. Once the child has stayed with the mother who adopted him or her for a year or two, he'll be resembling the person. That is how an artwork is. So since they are in Britain and the area Britain told them to, they are always saying, this is not our house. You are putting us in captivity. Until we go home, you will never see rest or sleep. And that is what has been happening. Unless Britain brings all of them back before that 2058, I said, it will always go from one problem to the other. I'm not the one saying it. It's already there. It's already there. And if they do not do it in time, it might collapse their monarchy in its entirety. Is there anything I haven't answered so that I continue?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, a few years ago, according to what you told me the last time I interviewed you in Benin City, you said that during the 70s, when Nigeria was planning the first attack, that you were one of those government officials that were sent to the UK to negotiate the return
Yes,
of
thank
the
you.
India mask. Yes.
Yes,
So we want
yes,
to
I
know
remember
about
now.
your experience with the British Museum at that time when they denied Nigeria of those artifacts. You know,
Yes,
go ahead,
what
sir.
happened was Chief Enahoro and the IBM Haruna General, Brigadier General IB Haruna,
Mm,
and then Dr. Asiwaju,
mm,
all of us went to Britain. And we asked for that first attack mask, Queen Idia mask,
mm,
to be brought for exhibition as the first attack mask symbol.
mm,
They agreed and they said we should deposit £2 million. So we got it was during Obasanjo's time. I said, why can't we be deposit? I said, look, if you want to catch an enemy red-handed, you hold him by the wrist. If you hold him by the elbow, it will slip away. So what they are wanting to say is you didn't pay, that's why they didn't give it. They are not giving you. So when we got there, they said it was too old to travel. And so we came back, and I was then the head of Arts Council. So I told them, our forefathers produced this thing, we can also still produce it. So they said, how do I say we need ivory? I had to sign for £3 or 3,000, I can't remember, to go and buy ivory from Onitsha. Because they said if the money is lost, we take it from your outside. So the late Abraham Osunde, I and the commissioner for arts and culture then, we invited various artists to come and compete for the production of a replica. So Benson, this gentleman, Alufai Igbenovia, who was eventually given MON, then Benson Igbe, one other boy, they met first, second, and third. And so we produced the first three. When we sent it there, the governor was very happy, the head of state was very happy, everybody happy. Then they said we should go and produce more. Then they gave me money. I sent people to Onitsha to go and buy more ivories. We carved about 41. Then they said they need 86, so that every head of state or president of a country that came to the festival should be given a copy. And we did. After they did it, they gave me two. I don't know if it's ethical to say I gave one, but then when our Oba, the father of the present Oba Ediawa of blessed memory, was going to Uselu. I went there. I saw a tortoise walking around in the house. Then I said, Your Majesty, what is this? He said, is it everything you want to know? Then I said, he said, till tomorrow because I'm very busy now. So when I was going the next day, I took one of the two first act masks given to me. I put it in my pocket, not very big. The other one is in my safe now. Yeah, I just brought it back from US after 28 years. Then he said, what is shaking in your pocket? I said, it's one of my native doctor's materials, Your Majesty. So when I asked about the tortoise, he told me what it was, which I'm not going to say. Then I brought it out. I knelt down, and then I said, this is for your journey to Uselu, Your Majesty. Then I told him the history. Then he said, you have forgotten that you don't kneel down in the palace. I said, one, I'm not in the palace yet. He said, but this is the Daikens palace. I said, it's by implication, not involvement. Until you get to Uselu, it's not a palace. I'm talking to you as my elder royal human being. So when he got to Uselu, I wasn't kneeling down because a native doctor of high reputation and quality is not supposed to kneel in the palace because of some traditional whatever. So then all the countries that came were giving, and then Alufa was given an honor. Then Osunde, myself, and one day were asking, why are you not going to be giving? Then they said, you'll be giving, you should pay 250,000. Then I said, I don't buy an honor. So the time I was given the first gold key in America, I said, honor is an honor when it is given by honorable people. It becomes a dishonor when it's given by unhonorable people. I said, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first honor in life, although I have got so many. And one thing that happened that day was that since 100 years, they started giving that key out. They never asked a recipient to talk, but they asked me to talk. I say, why are you changing the policy or whatever? One black man and 8 white people. They said I should talk. So I said, your name will be indelible and your footprints on the sands of time will live forever. Then I started my speech. So that is that. Then when they said they cannot travel, we now got a replica produced here. Then in 20, I can't remember the year, they came to loan 3 works from here. One of them is the only one on earth. It was made by the late Osemwegie Ebohon, the eldest son of the late Chief Omodan. That is the Queen, the Prince of Wales, and the Oba Akintola II. Bring it to me here so that I show it to you and the public. Then it was used all over the period in Austria that worked there with Urban. So they now brought it to Vienna for exhibition when they were showing for the first time all works stolen by Britain. So the Nigerians that were there, they said they want to break the museum down and carry everything and carry that work. Then I said, you don't do that. So bring this. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it. Raise it up a little bit. Raise it up a little bit, Baba.
You see it?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Nice. Wow.
It's not anywhere yet. They have not been reproduced. I have so many works like that. One is coming out next week. It's 6 feet tall of Osemwegie with a Bible on the left and the Ukurobia on the right. He was the first Oba to go to, the first and only Oba that has gone to Obia to wear the cap. Then he was also the first, I think, to be baptized into the Portuguese church. So he had Bible with the left. I will show it. I will flash it immediately. It comes in 4 days' time. It's finished. I wanted it to be here today, but it wasn't possible. So that is that. So then I told them, you said this thing can't travel the time we wanted it is 77. And now it's over 50 years. It was able to travel. I said, you see how stupid you people are? Then I said, one day, as I have said, all these things will come to their owners if you want to have peace.
Interesting, Baba. Okay, you experience all these things, and you have written books, many books based on the ancient Benin Kingdom. So, what is the motivation, Baba?
Yes. Okay, the first thing is it was the stolen works, the stolen treasures that made me leave Christianity in 1972. I was almost becoming a reverend. My father was a big figure in Christianity. I told him today, like Martin Luther, the diet of worms. I'm going away from Christianity because there are many things there that militate against my culture, 1. And 2, those things they stole, I cannot be a member of a church owned by thieves. So I had to leave Christianity. And today, I wish my father was alive to see that not being a Christian doesn't mean you are going to die. And I always say I'm not going to heaven, I will go to hell, because many people going to heaven, they are not people you would like to stay there with. That's number one. Then number two, when you are bringing a bed out of a bag and you see the big red, it will be premature to say, oh, this bed is red. You don't know if it is only the big that it is red. So you haven't seen anything, my daughter and my sister, by seeing the treasures outside. I have more than 30 things that are not in any museums on earth, including Nigerian museum. If they say it is a lie, I will bring them out for them to see. So many. And we won't tell the secrets of them because I don't know what to say about it. I was telling my children recently, I said, if the Oba establishes that museum, I will tell them to go and buy the 30 because I don't want them to be in a private museum like mine, because by the time I'm gone and I'm not here, you may not be able to hold tight to the things that protect them from those dangerous people. Then, yes.
But I remember the other time when I was in Benin, when I visited your cultural center, there was one small room. There are a lot of artifacts in your compound, a lot. Even the rooms, there are some rooms where you kept many artifacts. There was one particular room where you said that we cannot enter that room. So how will you, maintain that tradition? How will you maintain that tradition, not allowing people to enter that particular room full of
one of the is the divine kingship. What are there cannot be described. I call them the multi-millionaires. Then the other one are masquerades, but they are all getting rot away because I'm already tired and aging. I'm looking for 82 or 83 now. I'm tired because politics have worked against me because I'm not in any party. Cults have worked against me, although I have many friends in them. I'm not in any. The worst road in Benin is one of the worst roads in Benin is my own. All people have been told to come and repair it. They won't because of so many. I'm not a Christian, but that is a history. By the time I'm no more, and when they come to do it, I will still thank them. But posterity will not forgive any of them that didn't do it, because I've helped a lot of politicians within and out. The one I helped most is the greatest enemy I have today, because he went to church and be celebrating, whereas he was coming here every day, every night. All those who brought him here abandoned him, but I'm happy that let that one go into history. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So will you consider, building a museum or establishing a befitting museum for these artifacts in your compound as soon as possible?
I don't know if you have become a witch, because they call me a witch even though I'm not. A few days ago, I told somebody that what they are calling controversy, I do not see it, because it's you and I and some people that are calling it controversy. There's no controversy between the Oba and the governor, or the governor and the Oba. It is we mischievous people that are creating it. I don't think Obaseki is any utterances had said anything against the palace. One, Obaseki is a man, of Oba, of the Oba. No. It's an Oba subject. Oba Udwedu, Oba Uyedu, Oba Isiagbon, Oba anything that he has, because he said the God representative on earth. So it will be foolish of any Benin man to say anything awkward against the palace. And in fairness to Governor Obaseki, he has none. It's overzealous people that are doing it, and I pray them to desist. When I see, one day I saw something on the internet, I closed it and I fell asleep because my head became heavy. That can never happen. It's an abomination. Then it is not the day you take oath that you get hernia, the chronic one or the robust one. So whatever you do is a stone thrown up, it must come down. So we should be careful and tarry in the very bad pronouncements we are doing every day against ourselves. Egwaba na Karoge, Orama and Nobera Regwa, Ohengwemwe. The palace is the Oba and the Oba is the palace. Anybody who does not know what killed the father in the palace does not fear the palace. Please, Benin, be happy with what you have, because that is our pride and our everything. Thank you.
Okay.
If they bring those artworks to my museum, they will be very safe, because all the one in public museums, Nigerian museums, 1 year they wrote a petition to the Oba of Benin about Erediawa. They said all the works in Benin Museum have been sold off. So they came to me, I went to see it. In fact, 4 were missing. And they told me they were in exhibition overseas. When I got to Austria, I saw the 4 and took their pictures against the walls of the museum in Austria, Kunst Museum, and showed it to the Oba before he. So it was a terrible thing. Although the late, well, I don't want to mention it, because if they sue me, I won't get couple to pay. What is there is, most of the original works were sold by top notchers of Nigerian museum, and they put replicas. I was in a forge or studio in Ikun Street 1 year, many years ago, over 40 years. They said so person brought it, they showed the one that they want to put on. I got to, I didn't know what to do, because if you write petition, it's not going anywhere. So Nigeria is a country that is killed by religion and corruption. The only way it may be revived, because we are all involved, cannot be promoted. We cannot go on those ways, because we are all involved, according to Duku, on the civil war. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, I have this question about Benin artifacts being exhibited in many European countries. These people are generating income or revenue from these artifacts. The question is, are we also generating some revenue from Benin artifacts, especially those that you said you have been exhibiting across the globe?
Well, somebody came here to interview me on certain things. Then I said, 1, I'm not a prince. I'm not a son to the Obatu. 2, I'm not a politician. 3, I'm not the president or related to any of them. What is there is, if the president says be collecting money in these museums, and certain people collect it and then take them, how will the president know? It's only one human being. The same thing in other museums. But what I want to say is, I went to a village university in near Orlando. It was there I see this artwork. I don't think it's in any other part of the world. So I took the picture. I made something very close to it, but make it different from that. The same thing in 1972, I see a Lao in Stuttgart, almost 6 feet, a Lao head. None of them in Benin again. I was happy to see work, one work on internet, no, WhatsApp this morning by one young man. I think also they are not very sure. ASL was that he said the biggest plaque ever produced by he named it, this is Benin. I was very happy to see it. Knowledge never dies. We have works that is the story of Benin everywhere on earth. In 1986, I was taken to a place in New York. I think it belongs to Smithsonian Museum. I went 2 or 3 stories underground to name certain things for them. So I was thinking they would kill me there. So when I came out, I forgot every story because the things there are more than a country. Then another serious thing is most museums on earth, because of our carelessness and corruption, we have not been able until this time to bring them back. But they will all come back, like I said. All those that will go and take bribe there and say, don't bring them, let it be there, they will suffer it. And I'm also predicting here that if Buhari doesn't return these works to Edo State, the next president, it will be his first thing he will bring, because they will go, those artworks will be worrying them day and night. That one will say, oh, I don't want to stand it. They will return them. So don't be worried at all. They are going to be there temporarily. We don't have a problem here that will not make them to come. The corrupt journalists of this country, the corrupt officials of this country are the ones creating the controversy, which is not there. And they should be careful so that they do not pay for the sins they are committing. Yes. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay.
I'm
So,
hearing you.
yeah, you know that recently the Minister of Information and Culture said that whenever they return those Benin artifacts back to Nigeria, it will be under the possession of the federal government. So some people were curious, especially the Benin people, saying that how can the federal government possess Benin artifacts?
You see, for 5 years or more, I have not bought a newspaper in this country.
Mm.
And the 2 televisions I have in my apartment, I don't tune to local stations. I only watch CNN, BBC, many of them, because I don't want to get headache. I don't know, if I were watching, I would have known what native that minister is. I have a question I would have asked. You know the Minister of Culture and Enemy for Nigeria, you know the tribe he comes from?
Yeah, it's a northerner.
Yoruba. Okay, ask him. Professor Armstrong work brought from Australia is a Yoruba work. Where is it? Is it with them in the presidency or in them in the ministry? You see, it's not anything you take tribalism into, or you bring these things. Let him go back to school and learn. So it was wrong to do that, very wrong. But it is like other things they do and brings shame. Like some days ago, a judge was, you see, I stammer because in my family we are not very rich. If they carry me to Abuja, nobody will get money to enter transport to come there. Even I suddenly go to Abuja. When I'm going, I go by road because I cannot pay for flights. So there are many things in my belly that will be there until there is a conducive atmosphere to deliver them. So tell that minister it belongs to the Benin people. He should withdraw whatever he has said. If cannot go there, they will bring it here.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So, we have been watching you, following you, you know, Few years ago or years ago, I came across a video on YouTube where you brought a white woman from the United States to Benin for Olokun Festival. So I'm going to play the video right now. Then we'll come back. Then you tell us what motivated you to bring this woman. What was the outcome of this festival? So I'll play the video. Guys, if you are watching right now, pay attention to this video I'm about to play. Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, guys, I hope you have watched this video. Very interesting. Honestly, the first day I came
Thank you.
across this video, I said, "Wow!" I people have been saying it, but I did my own research and I saw this video. Sir,
Yeah.
you are truly a custodian of Benin history and culture, and we appreciate
Yeah.
you. You are such a great man. So tell us what motivated you and what was the outcome of this festival in the life of this woman, this white woman that you brought from the United States to the ancient
Yeah.
city of Benin. Go ahead,
Yeah.
sir. Tell us more.
Interestingly, she's just uh, out of the almost 2,000 white men and women I have initiated all over the world. She's just one of the youngest and the most recent. It was the last initiation I did before my mother passed at the age of 118 years. In fact, she blessed it is Rebecca. The mother has 21 children. And the German either deputy, is it something of station or the ambassador was here that very day. If you watch the film closely, you will see him there. The two of the most interesting white women I have initiated are one, Sally Scores. She's a professor of theater arts. When she came here, she was sent by a Benin professor at the University of San Francisco, Santa Cruz campus. She came, she was asking a lot of questions. Then I said, if you want to have any intimate dealing with a dumb, deaf, and blind, you make him or her feel or touch the material, because children are watching this thing. That is why I'm here. So the lady, I said, you cannot go beyond here unless you initiate into Olokun. So the day she initiated, the American ambassador, many of them came, is in a Olokun worship in Benin Kingdom. So you might be able to read it on internet, or you send for a copy. So when she got into trance, the whole head were standing straight. So I told the men and women to hold canes, about 6 of them, to be caning her with and Victoria ladies. The embassy officials were not, you can't do that, you can't do that. Then the initiate said to the people caning her, my children, do not labor in vain. So by the time I brought her back into the human world, I was pressing the right toe down. Then I said, the people who came, ambassador, and they will come and watch, come and look at her body if there's any mark or anything. There was, I said, then he said, what? I said, they were caning you. Did you feel it? He said, I didn't know they were caning me.
Really?
She was not there. It's just to demonstrate the authenticity of getting into trance, because a lot are faked. So that is that. So the one you were asking about, in fact, I don't bring them. They come. Like the lady I sent up on Sunday, is a very big intellectual from Kingston, Jamaica. She initiated into Olokun, Shango, Ziza, and Ogun. She just left, not quite 4 days. So that is how a lot of them comes. And I do a lot of initiations abroad. To the last one I did in Oakland, California, a Benin chief was there. You will read it in that Olokun worship. So when I was in trance, I told them that my son should not travel tomorrow. I was to go to Chicago on a Ford Foundation invitation, that the sky and everything are bad tomorrow, you should not go. So when I got back from the spirit world, they told me, then I said, it's a contract. They bought return ticket and everything. So somebody phoned me from Benin the next morning when I was getting dressed. And he asked me, are you still going to Chicago? I said, do you watch television at all? Look at it. Then I saw, what is the name now? Empire Building, Twin Building in New York, burned. The smoke we are going up. All airports in the country closed. So Wahala settled itself. Then not only that, in that very ceremony, a boy put his hands to be talking to me when I asked him to start. So they were saying, remove your hand. I said, no, leave him. I wasn't there. So by the time I came, then I told the owner of the shrine I was doing this thing, Nedra Williams. I said, tell this young man not to go home until I come back. So immediately I said, touch him with a toy gun, a coconut, an egg, and go and break them at the crossroad. So when I came back, they told me, then I said, have you done it? I said, no. Nedra was trying, Google her name on the TV, on the internet, you will see it. He was trying to say, you were eating salad and you didn't do this thing. So then the boy, I said, come. As I was just going to start talking to him, his phone rang and he was dragging it from me. Then he called somebody to come out. When he brought the two hands out, there was only a finger in one and then two fingers in the other one. So that is why he was keeping them in the pocket. When he put the phone on his ears, he just listened to it, he smashed it on the wall. Why? And then I said, why? Why did you break your phone? He said his senior brother had just been shot dead in their house. That is why the God said he should not go. It's in the Olokun worship. It's not anything that you can read. A lot of events. So that is that. So Rebecca came to do her initiation because he's a traditional religionist. Thank you very much.
Interesting. This is interesting. Guys, I just want to see what people, the comment people are leaving here. This is amazing. Amazing. This is one of the best interview I've ever had on Nebo TV. Interesting.
Thank you so much.
Hmm. So, Baba, before we start taking questions from the audience, there is a phone number I'm going to provide, guys. If you are watching right now, I have a phone number I'm going to provide. And if you have access to my phone number, you can call later. I will let you know when you're going to call and ask questions. So, before we go to the general question session, sir, people have been saying that, the time you were appearing on EBS, is it not EBS, that you declare that you are a wizard, that you have this supernatural power. When you say wizard, in Nigeria, there's a kind of a connotation attached to that statement, saying that you are a wizard. So go ahead, sir, and tell us more about this, your supernatural power.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The first thing I'm going to tell you is that most of my viewers then were illiterates. What I said, although some may be university professors, deans, dons, and so on, it doesn't matter. You can be an illiterate when your knowledge is shallow. I said I am a witch by implication and involvement. I will explain. Then, before I explain, witchcraft have 7 categories. Wizard is about the 5th. Those are dangerous ones. I said in one of my books, the life and works of a high priest of African traditional religion. Then I said the worst witch is better than the best human being. Then I explained it several times. You can read it up in any of my listings. And I'm the best person that is going to bury himself before dying because of the way families deal with your children when you die. But fortunately, a book is coming out now. My first daughter and her husband said they will write it off. The publishing is Idiobe, a debased, I remember what it is, a debased whatever in Benin culture. There are a lot of things in it. Family that has spent 43 years in court, so let me not waste your time with that. So that one will put so many things to rest in a die. So as people were saying, he's a witch and how do you do this? I predicted the death of President Murtala Mohammed. 13 days to his death, I predicted it. I predicted the sinking of Bar Beach in Lagos and told them to do certain things like this. The risk is still there, although some prominent people asked me, what do we do? Then a friend that is late now gave me 50,000 and then a return flight to go and do something like that. It was also so at Iguaria in Benin here. Cars were falling, motors were falling into the river where a Buddha and his chiefs did something. I don't want to say because it's against the traditional. So then I told the nation and the kingdom what are to be done to avert it. I think they did it and it stopped. Then a very prominent prediction that made the Hausa to say, my enemy is a prophet of doom. So I was to sue him and the Nigerian government and apologize. So he was a very good friend of mine and an in-law too. So may his soul rest in peace. But his satanic followers, some of them, we are showing some videos recently which are false. So I wanted to take it up with them. And some of my godsons said, let your friend rest in peace. Don't bother about those entities that you will be making them to feel proud. So I forgot. I wrote something some time ago when I was in US. A son of mine replied them when they were saying certain things. So when I came, then I added to it that even Mrs. Margaret Idahosa is a friend, knows who I am. They cannot do that. I was coming from the bush one day at Ogba area. So in the outside, Mrs. Akpedidi, they were outside something. So I stopped because they are my room. He said, you are coming from, come and rest a bit in my office. So I went in. They brought sandwich out from the fridge because we always joking. Then he said, I said, I will eat. I want to go out for 5 minutes. Put something there so that next weekend I will be in your church as those people putting sticks by the door. He said, come on. I say, I won't sit down. And I won't. So I went out 5 minutes. I said, I don't eat at about. I cut from the window, put in the mouth. As man people do food when you bring. I cut, I put. I said, give me what I done. Mrs. Sekpedi, he said, Chief, you are always bringing in controversies. So a lot of things like that. When you are a celebrity in native, in herbalism, you are a witch. I say, no, it's a witch. Look at what he has done. So that is what they did not understand. I have done so many. The Nigerian observer, where he is now, although he's still like a person suffering from terminal sickness. In 1968, March 13, I used a cock and some materials to make sacrifice. It was on radio, it was on WNBS and some other newspapers. Because where it is now, the police barracks that was there was always getting loaded, the wall breaking away, because it's a ritual area where Osemwegie used to do his ceremonies, because they are powerful native doctors. They will plant corn today and it will grow and they cut it. So it never allowed things to stay good there. So when observer came, the same thing was happening, so I had to do it. But it's still not, I think the day I phoned somebody there, I said, my thing came out, can you give me 20 copies? He said they didn't print more than 200 copies. So that's almost a dead something. So the governor should do something. They said he has been putting something there, but they've not started to. I use this opportunity to ask, to plead with Governor Obaseki to go and revive Nigerian observers so that he can live in his memory. So that is that. A witch doesn't mean you fly and stay on the Iroko tree. When you do certain things extraordinary, like deities, a man born by a man and a woman and comes throughout the lap of a woman and does or did things above the ordinary run of man, will be deified at death and he becomes a deity like Muritala Muhammad. He's a deity already, like this boy in America, the Jesse, no, not Jesse Jackson, Michael Jackson. He's a deity. So many people like that on earth are deities because of their performance during their sojourn on earth. They were above and far above the ordinary run of man. So if you are like that, Moritala is a witch then. Oba that is gone is a witch because they did wonderful things. Oba Akelwa, we will call him a witch then because he will turn into a white cow and be taking air in his land of the palace. Ọwọ́ bókì yẹn pẹ̀, ọ̀bókì yẹn ní, nọ́ọ̀kì yẹn ní ìlànà ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀. Native doctors can transform into leopard, they can transform into elephant, but they cannot transform into a white cow. But Akelwa was. So I still don't doubt that the people interpreting it, like my late friend Idaosa, didn't understand what I was saying. But by the time he understood it, when I said that the witches were coming to meet in Benin, and that this will be this will be that, the NSO sent 3 people here. I will mention the man's name. He may still be alive. He was the head of NSO in Benin State, Mr. Idu. When they came, I told them that the man who sent you has been retired, so go, come back in 5 days' time. They say, what are you talking about? I said, the man who sent you here now is no longer a staff of NSO, he has been retired. He wrote his letter 3 days ago. I didn't tell them that, but he hasn't got it. So I said, go back, tell him I said he had been retired. Before he got to, a messenger, you know how Nigerians tell lies, phoned him and said, Oga, they retired you, the letter had not been sent. So he sent them, that was the year 2020 Naira came out. He sent them to bring me a bundle. 100 will be 20,000 or 2,000, I don't know. New ones. So when they brought it, I said, put it on the ground there. I thought they marked it. For what reason, I don't know. When they left, I said, take that money, go to market, go and change them into 10 Naira or 5 Naira so that I don't touch a match something. So we became friends. So if he's alive, may you still live more. So that is that. So many like that. When I went to Ife to do the Oba Oborame with the late Olarotini, certain things happened there. And we came to Benin. Olarotini was shaking. Then I told the Oba, this is what the Oba asked him 3 questions. You will read it in the Guapanedo second edition. It's about 200 pages or about that. It contains a lot. So that is that. So a witch does not mean the evil person that has wings in the night and goes to this. If you are a genius on anything, you are a witch. The people who made a Benin boy who made these planes without pilots, drones, Osato and Osemwegie, is a witch because that is above the run of man, that activity. Then Imafidon, I don't know the story they were saying about him recently. He's a Benin man. All his children are PhDs. One of them got his or her PhD before he was 12 or something like that. He built or designed the highest bridge in America, Imafidon, a Benin man. So he's a witch. So that is the type of witch I am, or Hofosa. So whatever name they give me, I have done it for so many years. It doesn't remove the hair from my body. It has been said 9 times that I am dead. British Broadcasting Corporation announced one in 1974 when a viper hit me at Kaduna when I was there for first time. So they announced that I died because nobody had survived it when that viper touches them, and 8 other ones. So thank you very much.
Oh, sir, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. Honestly, very interesting. So
Thank you.
I appreciate you explaining the distinction between someone who has a mystic power or
Yeah.
extraordinary wisdom, I would say, with wish. Because in Nigeria, or in Nigerian setting, the word wish has a negative connotation, sir. You know that.
Yes,
So many
you are
people,
right.
many people have told me that High Priest Osemwegie Ebohon is a witch. It's a witch, that he declared that years ago. You know, I was very young at that time, on one
Yeah,
of the China's EBS or something, that is a witch. So many of them just still carry that perception and believe that you are a witch. So you explain it clearly here that if you are a witch,
yeah,
it's a kind of a good one, a good witch,
yes.
not the witch that will go and fly on top of Uroko tree. Thank you, sir. That is a
Um,
very clear explanation. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
yes, sorry, let me cut you briefly.
Yes,
With
sir.
apology and respect and honor to the present Oba of Benin,
Mm.
Oba Ewa II. The year he visited my center here in 1989 or so, a boa consists of a queen of almost 19 feet danced for him with a red cloth on the neck. And he wrote 2 full pages on my visitor book. Oba Atope is
He said,
so is that the person who was able to do that? Is he not a witch? He's a witch, but not the one that is Zobo Atada. Thank you very much. And in 2014, I was in a I went to where is it? New York. I was in Mochico Bay. One Muta Baruka is a famous talk, whatever in Jamaica and the world. His programs appears twice a week or a month all over the country, the cutting edge. So I don't know how he got me that I was in. So he came to my hotel and invited me. He said, "We want to." I said, "I can just do it now because I don't know when." He said, "Are you?" I said, "I'm always ready wherever I am." So I went. In the course of the discussion, I told them that when a cock can only crow when it has killed a snake, then he said that no, 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 that is wrong. He said the cocks in Jamaica are crowing. There is no snake in Jamaica again. Then I said, you ought to know more than that. Anyway, don't let that one take my time. Then he told them not to ask questions, that after I have gone, they can ask questions that they want to keep me for. So he forgot to play the national anthem and they called him. You didn't play the national anthem. Then he begged me, then he quickly played it. And instead of 45 or 35 minutes, I was on for 4 hours. And you will see it on the internet. High Priest Ebohon from West Africa on the cutting edge. Then the Prime Minister invited me for lunch. Unfortunately, I was leaving the next morning for Miami to fly to San Francisco to deliver a lecture. So I said it won't be possible. Then when they were taking me to the hotel, it is their driver, because I was dozing away, said, Chief, look at a snake on the wall. A snake was going on the side of the road. So I quickly took my iPad and then snapped it multiple times and sent to them. He started with, he had beaten us to it. There are snakes in Jamaica and our government has eaten our money and said there is no snake in Jamaica. I said, you should have known better that the bank of the ocean, there are worms and snakes inside it. Even inside the ocean, you cannot poison snakes in the ocean. If it is 20 miles away on the ocean, the one you put on the edge there cannot kill it there. I said, well, that's a native doctor that knows more than you people. So that is that. Mm-hmm. Yes, dear. Go on.
honestly, I've learned so much today. I hope the audience are also learning. Honestly, I've learned so much from you. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is amazing. Amazing, sir. One question: the last time I interviewed you, you told me briefly that years ago, during the reign of Oba Erediawa, you were planning to sue the British people, to world courts. And Oba
Yes.
Erediawa told you that we should dialogue with the British government. So, yeah.
Yes. There is a bird they call Isa Movia. He's always by the Obia River. He said, until he dies, they cannot carry the Obia water away. It's the same thing with me. Anything that is not good happening to Benin is always a headache to me. It took my father many years to get over my living Christianity. He said, "Are you the only Benin?" I said, "Well, they tie Benin on my neck. I must protect it to the end." So when I talked to so many people, talked to so many British parliamentarians, the cries were heard, and they were now talking in Parliament or House of Commons that this thing should be returned. One woman started it.
Interesting. So, a few weeks ago, I did a documentary based on the history of Benin artifacts. Um, in the ancient times, these artifacts were used to record events. I'm going to play a brief session of the documentary right now, where we will come back and then you will add your own history to it. Baba, we would like to hear from you too.
I'm going to play this video of Oba Akenzwa II when a British journalist interviewed him in the 60s. The Oba also elaborates on the importance, the significance of these artifacts to the ancient Benin Kingdom, that they were records of events in the kingdom. Just take a look.
Your Highness, many of us know about the bronzes that have come from your kingdom. They are very famous. Can you tell me why they are so important to the kingdom of Benin?
Because they were record of events. When British troops came here in 1897, they carried them away.
What I was saying in the documentary, that in the ancient times, it was the prerogative of the Benin warriors to remove the head of any conquered monarch and bring it to Benin, and it will be immortalized or recorded with artifacts in the kingdom. So yeah, I would like to hear from you, sir, the significance or the importance of Benin artifacts to the ancient Benin kingdom.
Yes, thank you so much. Benin arts or Benin treasures are like books which you put in museums, in libraries. That's why I called it was our library. Because you have there was a statue, this one, they are arranged in sequence. So it's a library. Then not only that, it tells our history. It is our history, a history. But before I forget, the head of Ojoboro led to two terrible incidents in Benin. The Ezomo and Ogiugo were the one who went to that war because Ogiugo was treated by Ogioboro when he was slapped by Igbamo deity or sub-goddess, I'm sorry. And then nobody was able to treat him except Ogie Oboro, and Ogie Oboro told him, "You are the one going to kill him, but the way you killed him will be the way you will be killed, and paid with ingratitude." So after defeating him, it was Ogiugo that defeated him and cut his head. As they were bringing it to Benin, I think something happened, and Ogiugo wanted to relapse a bit. So Ezomo brought it to Benin and used it to tell the Oba that the head is here, was the one who did it. When Ogiugo had, he was so annoyed. No, I'm sorry, I missed it. It's not Ogiugo, it's not Ogiugo, it was Ologose that killed him with the help of Ogiugo and Ezomo. But Ogiugo didn't come with them, but he was the one who did the main thing, who cut his head. But Ezomo went and reported that he did it, and then I'm sorry that no, I think yes, Ezomo did it like that. Then
he gave the credit to himself.
The quarrel came up, and Ezomo said, "Ori kokore for Olobo said," and the Lobo said, cursed him back and said, "Oh, in my cultural heritage of Benin, written in 1972, I said the cause by parents can be reversed by children, because since that very time, when Olobose has a son, it will last 2 years. Then they will give the child to somebody to be taken care of. Then Ezramo now called his family together, cooked native beans, and spat on it. He said, that is why you see all these women will come, this one will be. So the last time there was then the wife, Mapolo, was brought to Hugo's wife and taken to the palace. Then the other said that it should be put in Olubose's palace or so. Then she was coming from there every morning and evening to teach the Isiquian and the queens in the palace and another female group in the palace, Eguguagba. They were 201 in 201 places, 4,001. Some of them you will put one beat on them before you sing it. Some of them you will stand on top of a tete, and so on and so forth, because they were powerful. Something. It's not waste your time that you know the whole history is molded in Zebu in my compound. So I don't want to hear no more phone. So finally, when Imapolo was going to die, the maraka she brought, which is called Okuku Soryoho, she left it with Olokoshere. He said it can never be put in any other house apart from the palace and the Olokoshere palace in Benin Kingdom. So she went into the thin air. So during the Civil War, the maracas was giving a sacrifice. The woman playing it is always the first daughter of Olokoshere. Each time she plays it like that, some of her hair will go. The last of the children who played it in its original form was Imade. It's in cultural heritage of Benin, on a stool given to me by the mother of the mother of the father of the present Oba. So that maracas can never be played anywhere else apart from the palace and the Logos house. The house will fall into foundation. It was still there till a few years ago. I don't know its position, and the photograph is in that my book. So I have not gone there for a long time because they told me the Ologos was in America or somewhere. So I don't want to go beyond that. So you also use it to honor personalities of importance in Benin. You see the one I showed you just now, the Oba, the Queen, and her husband. That is history. Then all the others in different ceremonies are done and then put in the archives of Benin history. So we use it to record events. We use it to record our history. We use it to record bad and good events in Benin, like the one we are saying now, where Adeswa was presenting Kola to Ogiobo. Those eventually became sad and bad histories of Benin. So those were what they were done for. And they were in bronze, ivory, wood. Igun was in charge of bronze. Ibesama was in charge of ivory and the wood. So that is the situation. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, for the audience, in order for them to call in, I'm about to post a phone number right now. I posted the phone number, was it not 2 days ago, on WhatsApp. So, if you have access to the phone number, you can call right now. Otherwise, I'm about to post it again here so that people can call in. Thank you, sir. Honestly, we learned so much, all of us. We have learned so much from you and all your work, your previous work, sir. I've been following you. You know, anytime I visit Benin, I must come to your cultural center, sir. So it is time for people to call in. Some people were calling me before. I'm switching on all my phones right now. If you have my phone number, I know that some people, some of my Benin people, especially those who are following me, they have my phone number. If you have my Canadian phone number, you can call in right now. I switch on the 3 phones with me. So if you have access to any of my phone number, call in to ask your questions. Before people start calling in, sir, I will go through the comments so that I read the comments for you. Any comment for you or question for you, I will read it for you, sir. All right?
Okay. Thank you.
Where's the Baba?
Okay.
Quickly pause this one here. Okay. Someone is calling. Hello? Hello? Yes. So how are you? Can I Yes, he's here. He's listening. Baba, can you hear?
Yes, I'm hearing.
I would say speak English for the benefit of those who are not Benin speaking audience.
Since we're a station
okay.
For the next generation.
Osas, my brother, it's better for you to just use English for the benefit of those who are not, because I have many not Benin speaking audience. So please just use English.
Let me say it in English.
Yes.
A very good afternoon to you, sir. My name is Esosa Edeobaldi. I'm calling from Geneva. Sir, I want you to kind of give us an idea of how we can preserve some of the very wonderful works that you have done, especially the knowledge that you have. Is there any way you can transfer it to some of our Benin people or educate? We have a new generation of your type, so that so I'm concerned I hope you have been able to teach the next generation some of the things you know, sir. That's my question,
sir. Thank you so very much. Although I didn't.
Okay, Baba, let me translate again. He said you are a knowledgeable person. You are very knowledgeable. You have been through all these experiences in Benin Kingdom and with your work and everything. Say, how can you preserve this your work? By empowering the younger generation to continue with what you have done. Because nobody is going to live forever. So how will you empower the younger generation?
Yeah. Thank you so much. The first thing I will say is religion, bad politics, and corruption has killed every province of this country. Benin is not an exception. If you are not at the corridor of power, you are not near powers, you yourself only do not only suffer, your work will suffer. I have almost 60 scripts that have not been published. One has just been finished now, is going to press. And it's my family that is publishing it. My senior daughter and her husband is Igiobe, a debased legacy. Then another one is behind it, my blood, I and their blood, and so many other ones. I have anthology of poems in Benin. Osemwegie is almost 10 pages in it. Nobody to help. I've never got help from any Benin man, except a Benin senator who came here to do something. I don't want to talk about it because it nearly brought quarrel. I allowed that to go. Then two, the late Oba Akintola II gave me a blessed money in 1979 or 80. What am I talking? No. It's not. I can't remember the year, whether it's 80 something, when we were doing Oborame. He gave me money. He said, it's a blessed money, go and use it. Then I thanked him. The past Oba, when I went to present Oborame Nogbaisi past 1 and 2, he also gave me a blessed money. But the biggest blessed money is from the present Oba. He gave me at Uselu some money. Then when I got to Guaba, the day I went to present his own video and things like that, he promised. I was using my car to carry Ati because there was a rain 2 days ago, and my road were not passable. So a friend who came to see me, engineer Sabieda, his car broke down. I think I won't say, I just contributed. My own broke down, and the other promised me something because of the crowded activity, and even promised to give me a bus. Because of the crowded activities, maybe they forgot. There's no way I wrote to the Secretary of Benin Traditional Council, even when I was going to present Guaba Nedo. I wrote him almost 4 times. He didn't reply. Not the other, Mr. Rabo, because I don't know how to tell lies. So I haven't got those bits from the other because he forgot, and there was no way to remind him. Because, for instance, the day Wole Soyinka came here for the first time, he said, unquote, I wonder how a person like you can stay in a country like this, where truth is a crime and sin, unquote. He came to compare a program for BBC, Youth and Drug. That was the day he said it. Whatever the case is, I told some people recently when the United Nations, an agent of the United Nations said Edo or Benin language may be extinct in the next 40 years. I said they over-exaggerated. It won't be up to that. May God not let it go extinct. I was to talk on it recently, but the group doing it had a little health issue, one of them, so it was postponed. I don't know. And then this one came up. What I'm trying to say is, one person cannot carry the ceremonial drum of the Oba Ida and then also carry the gong. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So the first day the president here said, Chief Ibe visited here, he gave me a check, and I used the check to buy something and put in the museum. So I don't know. Let's leave that one. So a king's messenger that does not stammer, his head will roll off his head. So I want to stammer so that I can live to the day God said I will live. Thank you very much.
Baba, you have done so well. You have done so extremely well for all of us and the Benin Kingdom. Thank you so much for all you have done. So people are calling.
Thank you so much.
You see, two people are calling at the same time.
Is it better? Is it better now for our battle here?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, once again, Baba, Chief Ezoba's son, Sokmobaro. My name is Chief Valiant Efusa Samson, and
Chief Ezoba's son. Is that?
Yes.
Is Chief Ezoba's son? Yes, I'm trying to explain to Baba because you can't hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to appreciate the Baba that he did a lot of good work for one of our Edo sons. And that.
Hello?
Yeah, so tell me when to speak.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Patrick Ahabwe was the technical director in Dolo. So if I remind him of Patrick Ahabwe, who was living next to his house, the mother was living next to his house at Texacola. So I want to appreciate Papa that he's done so much for Edo people. Me, I'm one of those who know so much about what he has done. And he's one of the greatest Edo man that has ever set his foot on this earth. And I know him to be a very purposeful spiritual leader. We are so proud of you. We have very few of you that we as Edo people cannot complete our sentence without remembering name like High Priest Ebohon, Baba Osemwegie. Thank you so much. And unfortunately, he passed on when you were in California at that time, working on World Library, something heritage. Thank you so much, Baba. Bye-bye.
Let me on the other phone. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hey, Nekman.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm on live broadcast. I saw that you were calling me in the other phone. So Baba is here now. If you have any question, anything to tell Baba, so he's ready to take questions and comments from the audience.
I was trying to reach you. Okay, let me call.
No. You can talk now. I'm calling. I'm on live broadcast.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm really happy to see you. I'm not sure I've seen you for many years. Domosa. The question I want to ask is, we are gradually losing our cultural heritage in Edo State, not just in Benin. So what are some of your suggestions based on your experience? Some of the things we as a people, the government can also do to keep, especially our language, propagated. Domosa Osadebawe.
Nekmen ka about to always see.
Where's the Baba?
Uzo when I get Mama who are my own. Utieme na August no I tie we gba tie we mu.
7.
No money no. Or where ni am able as I'm sorry for the speaking Benin. The question of he asks is what suggestions can I make to improve on some of our deficiencies in our culture? The first one is our language is gradually going into oblivion. So what we do is not far-fetched. All my children and grandchildren, they have wonderful Benin names. Only my first daughter, the year she was born, I got German scholarship to go to Germany. After I left, my aunt, Mrs. Sarah, but the mother of one of the justices in Edo State, took her to the Catholic church opposite my father's house, directly opposite the Catholic church, Cathedral in Mission Road. They baptized her with the name Rufina. When I came back, they told me I was mad. Then I said, there's nothing I can do, but she will never answer that. And she has never answered it. All the rest have Benin names. But most of us do not give our children Benin names. They name them Gota, they name them Stevie, they name them all sorts of European or whatever names. If you look at the names in the dictionary or so, you won't get their meanings. Some people name their children Gota, some rice, some beans, some whatever. So one of the first things we will do is to come back and use our Benin names for our children. Although I'm also guilty of the one I'm going now, because I always tell people I'm tired. In my house, we speak English and Benin, which is not supposed to be so. But when children get to school, they will say, if you speak your vernacular, which is an insult on our language, they will say, bring broom. They will say, pay 100 naira. Out of my meager earnings from Osemwegie playing, I won't be paying 300 naira every day or every other day. So I say, be practicing English at home so that you don't become guilty. Then our Edo language or Benin language is not in any curriculum. When they were doing it properly in universities, my book, Agmezolo Ogomakere Henguda Nobo, were used for 20-something years. Singly, they will ask 4 questions on that book and 3 questions on my life until books started coming in. So I will beg the Oba of Benin and the governor of the state to make the government include Benin language in the school curriculum, even if they are not offered in higher examinations, at least for our children to be able to speak Benin. My child attending Immaculate Conception College, Benin, came one day with one of my books, photo started, and they were sending me 300. I said, let them do anything with it, as long as you people are learning the language. Those are sacrifices. Recently, one boy on the internet, is it Benin Emancipation, whatever, he put my photo there. He was playing my poems on the Yoruba and so on and so. He didn't even mention my name. People were telling me, do this. I said, leave him. At least people have heard the poem. Maybe he is hungry. He wants to use it to collect money. So where I am is still where I am. So we must sing, dance, tell our story, recite our poems, and dramatize our literatures, Edo language, Edo stories, and so on and so forth, so that they do not die or decay. A language can decay, and when it is decaying, the owners do not know, because the process is so gradual until they find that they don't have a language again. That is the process Edo language is now. When we speak one English and one Benin, we put 3 English. How now? Everything is okay. That is a nonsensical stupidity. If the English is permissible, I'm not an Englishman. I can also damage their language because they damaged our own. So I am begging every one of us, name your children in Benin, speak Edo language or Benin language in Benin at home, and then tell your children stories. I started a program here, Stories of Our Land, twice a week. I did it 2 times. I stopped because after the story, they won't go. They will want me to give them Fanta, both old and young. And I said, if I continue this, I will sell my house. So I had to stop. One time during a Edo magazine, everyone was interested. Edo magazine became a talk of every Benin house and even beyond. So we asked for donations to continue because I was paying for my meager whatever to pay the studio 30,000 a quarter. And that was a big money. I will starve my children and family because of it. The first person to donate was 1,000, and nobody else donated. So I said they should go and give it to charity at Mission Road opposite my father's house, so that the gods don't kill me that I use donations from Benin to do it. So I don't know what to say again. Nebo television. So that is the situation we are. So if you want to preserve it, the Benin should contribute.
Yeah, Baba, you have done a lot to preserve this Benin history and culture. You have done a lot. So it's left for all of us to follow your footsteps, right? Yeah. It's left for all of us to follow your footsteps to preserve this our rich cultural heritage, very rich. So yeah, someone else is on the phone waiting for you to finish before he will ask his question. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, hold on. Okay, go ahead. Hello.
Okay. Good evening, Mama, and good evening, our Father in the house. Praise. I praise Osemwegie Ebohon. I am very delighted, to watch this program today. Although I have been following you, Mama, for a very long time, but I have not really called in because I know most of the documentary you do not really make it a public discussion. You only just do the documentary and post it. Okay, but today is an interactive session, so that is why I think it fits to call in. Like as I said before, I really applaud our father, High Prince Osemwegie, Owesi San Domo Baba. You are really done a lot. But I have a question, man.
Okay.
My question goes like this. We know, according to what I've also listened here so far and what I've been learning before about our culture, as a Godo Benin people, it is not clear to me that Edo or Benin do not end only in Edo State. It cuts across several territories, present day southern Nigeria, and even beyond. So my question now is that, looking at our father in the house, you will not doubt that this is a Benin man or this is a Edo man. You can never doubt it at all. He's representing our culture whenever, anywhere you go. So, but I want to know, what is the relationship about this our culture between we, the Edos, the one that speak Edo language, or let me put between we, the Edo, because my question is actually two questions. Between we, Edos and other people, Esan, the roads, the cars, other people that is known as the Benin people who left in one way or the other to form another kingdom in another location. So what is the relationship about this our cultural heritage? How are we practicing the culture together? Okay, that is my first question. Second question is, do we speak Edo language or is it Benin language? Because what I've studied so far, someone made me understand that Benin is not a language, but Benin is a territory that cover all the old descendants, being Edo people, Esan, Afemai, and Orogo, so on and so forth, Otika, and so forth. So I want to confirm for our father, is it Benin language you speak or Edo language? And about our culture, those people outside those states and inside those states that is not from Edo South, are they practicing the same culture with us? And if not, why? So that
explain to me.
Okay, hold on. Don't leave the phone. one question at a time. Okay, one question at a time, so that we can, digress this. So, Baba, what the first question was, there are other people who left Benin in the ancient times and formed their kingdoms, or left Benin because of some intricacies or any issue at that time. So they left Benin, and today they are not speaking the Benin or Edo language, but they are descendants of the Benin kingdom. So how are we maintaining this relationship between us and those who are not speaking the language? That is number one.
The first thing is, in those days, it was at the pain of death for those not in Benin kingdom to speak the language, because the Benin felt that they were too inferior to be speaking the language. Even those who migrated, who left Benin kingdom, when they get there, they be forming their own languages, speaking languages of tribes around them. That is one of the things that militated against speaking our language by every vassal or people that were originally Benin. E.g., the founder of Ishekiri kingdom was a Benin prince. When they got there with his people, they started to listen to the riverine dialects. So today they mix Benin with Ishekiri. So the same thing with Isha and all those, although of recent politics, I don't know whether it is sweet or bitter one. I heard a boy one time saying that Benin is not, Isha is not Benin. But those are not the things I will address here, because we should pedal softly and gently. Yes, that is one of the reasons why Benin language is not spoken by others, but it's now being politicized. Yes, thank you.
These two questions, this our brother is asking right now, is very, very important. Two questions that he just posted. The second one, Baba, he said this language, Edo Mazena. Okay, this is our Benin language. Is it Benin language or Edo language? Because someone is promoting this idea that Benin is not a language, that Benin is the territory covered by the Benin kingdom. A territory is a name of a territory, that the language is called Edo language, Asian language, Afema language. So is that true?
Yes and no. For the Edo language, it is true that Edo language is the language spoken by the province or territory covered by Benin Kingdom. But to say Ishan language is Edo language. Afeman language is Edo language. I always laugh at my Ishan brothers and sisters. I say, Urene. So you will turn your head now to say it in Ishan. So by the time the year of emancipation for the slaves, they were rubbing shoulders with their masters. Ishans and all those are children of Edo. The Oibo came according to this Igbo came and put a knife on the string that held us together, bound us together, and things fall apart. So what I'm saying is, whichever way you speak the language is Edo as far as you know. Afeman and Ora, they are autonomous children, no doubt about that. But if they start to speak languages, and Ewa had some deadly charms that he used to turn things to be in his favor. When he got to Benin eventually, after wandering in the bush, he had so many that he got on the way, and the one he developed himself, charms. For instance, there's what they call he can use it to do anything. He can say, change his tongue to someone and it will change. It may look credulous, but that is the truth. Then, secondly, he also had what we a tree that he made by accident that led to so many things in Benin. After removing the worms in the womb, he wanted to sit down. Then he sat on a big firefighter as motor. Then as he sat, he was turning him here and there. Then something was dripping on his head. He used to say, and it was, when he looked up, it was a leopard. So he quickly rose. As he rose, he found that it was a snake he was sitting on. He used the word of mouth to kill that one and threw his ogala at the leopard, and he fell headlong to the ground, also falling on the snake, which became part of the ceremonial materials or animals for the Oba to make sacrifice to the said army. So what I'm trying to say is many things caused the difference in languages or dialects spoken by Edo language with a sub-dialect by Edo children. So
that is what I was expecting to hear from you, Baba. Baba, that is exactly what I was expecting to hear from you, that the language is called Edo language with sub-dialects. So like the Asian is a dialect under the Edo language. The Afema is a dialect under the Edo language. Yes, exactly. Well explained. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Yes, this our brother asked two important questions. I appreciate that. Hello? Yeah, what's your name? Thank you for the questions. What's your name, my brother?
Okay. My name is
Derek Ebohon.
From Oriomo.
From Oriomo. Okay. Where are you calling from?
From Italy.
Oh, thank you. The two questions that you just posted make perfect sense to me. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, ma. Before I go, ma. Hello, ma. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know if our father really know what we can do. Like in Italy here, when I came to Italy, there is a school you need to go to learn Italian language. So being it Edo State, even if we are still under Nigeria, is it not possible that they should make Edo language a compulsory course in the state?
No, that question. No.
English or any other language. Why can't we make it a compulsory course?
I understand. This question will go to the state government, not for Baba, because Baba has already elaborated on this same question before. If you have been watching this program, you understand. Baba is talking about if they can make a Benin language or the Edo language compulsory for everybody. Anyone who lives in the Benin or in Edo State should learn the language, just like the way they are learning the language there in Italy. So if you're a newcomer immigrant, you have to learn the language. So if they can make it compulsory as well in Edo State, that anyone that lives there must study or learn the language. So that's what he's saying. I said, okay, this one will be a question that should be directed to the state government. You understand, right?
You are right. Yes, you are right.
Yeah. So, my brother, thank you so much. Your questions have been answered. Thank you, and we appreciate that. Yeah. Let's see. So, Baba, I know that we have kept you so long here on this program. Many people are saying, according to some of the comments I'm seeing here, they said I should bring you to the program next time. We have learned so much and we want to learn more from you, Baba. This is wonderful. Wonderful. I'm so happy today. I'm so happy. Oh. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Yes, sir. Uh, yes, Baba. Orimana.
So Baba Osemwegie Ebohon.
Where's it?
Eti guazebu but so kwa di maze we ma. Ewo agogo na meroji. Baba utemo papa to ka bo da be go. Ni ya jigi bi eto ya fe ke ni ari ga je to da mi o ni aja wa le. Baba wa to pe. Eto ni
Isake Uwe.
Eto no for aya kian suta. School ogedu Baba wa unu mweko. Where I mean on body you born in Nigeria na yawe osukwa. Bine otimare inekwe. Mwe studio na bo ka bo ya atu yedo mu. Ujedo ni o ki ari ari kuye. Ki ari inekwe. Meno kwana o biaga yisi no.
Wese. Why, Baba Remana Science, almost 2 hours, or do my quick 2 hours. So, where Dobby Mam will about it so that my continue with the discussion. You sure where? Oh, okay. Yata my. More. So, and Baba make it. Baba, who was say, oh, Baba. Oh, Westy. Oh, yeah, way that you only go work one with phone, Baba. So yeah, Baba, I'm so excited. I've never been so excited on this program like this. Honestly, let me just read their comments here. There are a lot of comments here. I saw some people saying that please I should bring Baba back to the program. Baba, will you come back to the program? Tell us so that we'll learn more from you. We want this type of interview next time, Baba, please.
I will be very happy to do so. Anywhere I am on earth, I will connect to it.
Thank you. And Baba, I will also appreciate you for being able to connect with with internet in Nigeria. It's very difficult to connect with anyone in Nigeria. Sometimes, as even the youth, the younger ones, it's difficult for them to get a better internet to connect with me on this program. So I don't know how you manage that, Baba. I don't know. Everything about you is just excellent, exceptional. Baba, we love you so much. We appreciate you, what you have done for us in the ancient Benin Kingdom. We are so proud of you. I will bring Baba back to the program again. We are so proud of Baba, what he has done for us, and we are still expecting more from him. I will bring him back to this program. Just hang it there. Don't worry, I will announce it in advance because he will come back again next time. But today, we're going to end the program like this. And I'm so excited. I have to leave this studio right now and go celebrate. All right. Thank you all for watching. If today is your first time of visiting China on YouTube, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Okay. Let's celebrate.